If I make this into a Stunt Let's See Time episode, I guess I can explain what I'm trying to work on here. I'm alone, so I don't really want to try any completely new stuff. If I crash, I got nobody to help me out, basically. Like, I'm kind of on my own. Coasters or something, I'm trying to put some work on. Like, I'm comfortable with those. I don't have to really worry about anything too bad happening with those, you know, knock on bike. But and then like knee knockers, instead of having my knee on the seat, basically stepping into like standing up into a staggered. I'm just trying to make those a little more consistent, because then every time, like last summer when I was trying to do them, I think I stopped giving it gas. I gave it a little too much brake and the bike would just come down and I'd end up chasing it. But now I've kind of got them figured out, because the purpose of that is if I can step or like stand up into the staggered position, then I can go from the foot brake to the sub cage, and then, you know, I'm in a complete stand up variation. I can finally expand out of like double peggers, which I want to do. The like main goals for this summer is to scrape, get some combos down, and then kind of start circles, you know, stand-up circles. Yeah, that's about it. I'm just kind of putting my thoughts out there right now. I'm having handbrake issues. This Maguro, I bled it for the start of this summer because I wanted to swap the fluid out to something fresh. After wheelies, it's just kind of like, look how much like play I have there before it actually starts doing something, which I don't really like. It's not very confidence inspiring. I don't think it's I replaced the bleeder screw on the P.34 because when I went to bleed it, it was kind of seized, and it took a lot to crack, so maybe I thought I stripped something and I got air leaking in there, but I rebled that once, didn't do anything. Rebled it yesterday, like out of the caliper, out of the master, and I don't know, there's air somewhere. Like, I tapped my lines, everything's like oriented correctly to where like the bleeders, the bleeder nipple is above like the banjo, and that's at its highest point, and up here it's at its highest. You know, this is higher than that, I think, and I don't know, maybe I just have to swap this Maguro with a Brembo, if that'll make any difference, hopefully. My goal is to get those nice and like smooth for distance, so that I can start adding like throttle. I do want to be able to shift from first and the second, just because it is a little bit of a pain in the ass to pop up in second with stock springs. I believe the trick with coasters is when you pull the clutch and you're like applying the slightest amount of brake and like catching it, because when you pull the clutch in, it's going to want to fall back. So by slightly riding the brake, you're kind of catching it and holding it in that coast spot. The way I kind of have figured it out is, you know, if it's going too far back, add a tiny bit of brake, and then, you know, you let off and let it go. And I kind of almost use my body to keep myself back. That was a really smooth one. So like what I was doing there was, it was coming far back, so I tapped a little bit of brake, and then if I felt like it was going too far forward, I try to like put the weight more into my ass, so it like bring the bike back a little more, I guess, if that makes sense. You're kind of just like letting it roll back with you, and then tap a little brake, bring it down. It's such a like, especially with the P.32, it's such fine like inputs. I'm sure with the stock caliper, it might be a little bit better. It's less sensitive. Like those are getting really comfortable to me. I want to start adding throttle, but the problem is when I do that, it's like just another variable to think about. What I'll try and do is talk more like I'm doing now, just to kind of explain what's going on, so it's not just riding footage, because I want to at least give you guys some insight into like what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what the thought process is behind it. Because I figure like that's kind of more beneficial than just raw riding footage. How's it going?
What's up?
Are you okay if I ride here?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, thanks. Sounds good. Thanks. You too. See? Too much shit was happening there and I kind of fucked it up.
Hottest stash in the carpet. Yeah, we trapping out apartments. I ain't done when you start